Okay. So thank you everyone for joining us today for this learning webinar by Dheya Career Mentors, and our dear mentor Avni ma'am is taking this webinar for you know to increase our knowledge about thought power. So what is thought power? Change your thoughts and you can change your world. Because your thoughts are very powerful. So we are going to learn how to unleash our thought power with Avni ma'am. So let me introduce you to Avni ma'am. So ma'am is a career mentor with Dheya Career Mentors. Ma'am is also a counselor. Ma'am is an affirmation coach and NLP practitioner. So ma'am, Avni ma'am, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Preeti ma'am. Good afternoon to each one of you. And as Preeti ma'am rightly said, that the way you think, you are going to be, right? So we are going to talk about our thoughts, and I know there are lots and lots of thoughts going on in your mind right now also, right? So let's begin. So change your thoughts and you can change your world. What does that mean? I mean, your thoughts are taking over a lot of things, and that can change your whole world. So we are going to talk about our thoughts and how we can change our world and our life too. Okay, the power of our thoughts, that's the topic actually. So what power our thoughts have got? They have got enough power to change your life, to make you more strong, and to make you more capable. You just need to focus on your thoughts, right? There are people whom I normally hear around talking about and saying about that there are some positive thoughts and negative thoughts. I would like to tell you something over here is there's nothing like positive thought or negative thought. What actually it is, they are just thoughts. Now, how you take those thoughts, how you perceive those thoughts is what we talk about positive and negative, right? So thinking is something which is very normal, and it is for each and every member it is same, right? But when you are talking about a positive thought or a negative thought, it is only your perception, right? So we are going to talk about the power of our thoughts. We have got thoughts and we have got power to convert them into positive. The thought power is one of the strongest and the most useful power we possess. That's why Buddha says, what we think we become, right? So we have got that power, and that's the exactly what our topic says, that unleash your thought power. So we should know the power that we have, that the strongest thing that we possess in our own self, only to focus them, and we can change our life, right? So what you think, you are going to become. So think positive, or take the thoughts positively, and you will become what you want, right? Okay, now here we go ahead with what actually the thought power, or what are the functions of thought power, I would say, right? Thought promotes radiant health. What do you mean by radiant health, right? It thought promotes the radiant health. What we think in our self or in our thoughts about our health is what we are going to face, right? So here normally we say, if you would, all of you would have heard about Vyadhi and Adi. What is Adi and Vyadhi? Adi is your mental health, and Vyadhi is what we call about is the physical health. So your Adi, I mean, whatever your thoughts are about your own self, about your own health, is what your Vyadhi will be, right? So if your mind is healthy, the body will be healthy, and a sound mind is a sound body, right? So normally, if I give example over here to you all, it will be like, there are people whom I come across during my counseling sessions and everywhere. So people, they do call, oh, my legs are gone because now I'm aged, and that is going to happen because it's my age. but that's only a thought. Why don't you take it that, okay, fine, even if my age is there, if I do some exercise, if I do some yoga, I can be much better, right? So what you are thinking about, what your mind is thinking about your health, if you want to be fit, if you want to be healthy, if you think healthy, your body is going to be healthy. So what you have to focus is on your thoughts, right? I will not say ki only with the thought everything is going to be fine. If you think, okay, I am going to live for a number of years, it is not going to happen. I'm not saying that only just with a thought it is going to happen, but if you think that way, you are going to act that way, and when you act that way, you are going to get the result. So that is what I'm trying to say कि ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि आपने सोचा तो हो जाएगा. अगर मैं आज ऐसा सोचूंगी कि मैं मेरी डेथ कभी होगी ही नहीं और मैं सालों साल जीती रहूंगी, तो it is not going to happen. There is some destiny to my life also. But if I want to stay healthy, if I'm going to think that, okay, whatever age I have, whatever life I have, I'm going to stay healthy by doing some exercises, or by taking care of my own health, then I'm going to focus on those thoughts. And when I focus on those thoughts, I will think that yes, if I have to live healthy life, I have to follow certain things, and if I have to follow certain things, that means I am going to act that way. So that is what we are going to do with our own body, right? So what we think is going to happen, but it is only going to happen if you follow the steps, if you act to that, right? So if I would state over here that if your mind is healthy, your body is going to be healthy, that doesn't mean that only with a thought your health is going to be fine. You definitely, the act is very much important. We are going to talk about the act and what we think and how it converts into the results. We are going to talk about it in our later slides, but here I would want to say that if your mind is healthy, you are going to be healthy because you are going to focus on that positive health, right? So when you focus on a thought which is you are taking it as a positive way of life, you are going to get that, right? So a positive mind, a healthy mind is going to give you a healthy body. Now here we are going to talk about the thought that develops your personality, right? There are people who we normally call कि उसकी personality तो ऐसी ही है, right? So when we are talking about good people, those who have got good thoughts, they are going to have a good personality that you perceive. Why? Because you have got that experience also, right? So there is not only one point that is your thought, but there are a lot of other things also. But the thought has got the power to change everything, whether it is your environment, whether it is your way of taking things, or whether it is your act, right? So that is why the thought is very important to focus on. If you focus on your thoughts, you're going to get your destiny, right? So thoughts, they get converted into emotions, and your emotions are going to get converted into your actions, and your actions are going to convert into your habit, and that is how your habit is going to become your personality, right? So that is actually automated, right? That this whole process is automated, and when this whole process gets over, you get your personality, right? So here if I give you some examples, like if I have a thought, and if that is going to go into my mind, and if I'm going to think about that particular thought, that is going to give me some emotions, whether it is happy, whether it is sad, whether it is anger, right? And that is going to convert into the action that I'm going to do, right? For example, if I'm angry, if you also think by your own self, you will come to know that if you are angry, what action you will show. You are going to show certain actions that will depict that you are angry. Okay, it will not come automated, but that is the reflex that you are going to generate, and that is what people are going to see for about your personality. And slowly and gradually, when this act continues repeatedly, what happens? It converts into your habit. And when it converts into your habit, that becomes your personality, right? For example, if there is a person who normally has a thought where he normally thinks about people around himself or herself and to help out those needy people, right? What emotions he will have? He will have a positive emotions about those people, those who are in need. And what act that person is going to do? He or she is going to help that person out in some or the other ways, right? That depends on individual personality, how they take it. But when you are doing that act of helping that person every time, when you think about those people, those who are in need, not specifically about one person, I'm talking in general, okay, and then what happens? That gets converted into your habit. So there are people, if you look around in the world, those who normally keep helping people around themselves in the environment also, right? So what is that? That's their habit. Okay, so converting a thought into a habit, and this whole process gets converted into your personality. So that person is normally going to be humble, and that person is always going to have a personality, which we call it as a helping personality, right? So here I'm talking about an automated process, okay, which develops into your personality. So it is only one single thought which can make your own personality also, right? So this process is very important, but it is automated. You don't even realize that, okay, fine, this whole process has been passed into my whole journey, and that's how I have got this personality, right? And normally it is said that if you follow one particular act for 21 days, that becomes your habit, right? So normally when I do counseling of kids on everything, I normally tell the kids that, okay, fine, if they give me an example ki ma'am ye hota hi nahi hai, hum kitna bhi try kare, so I normally give them a chance that, okay, fine, you try this act without a single drop and follow it for 21 days and see to it that you don't skip a single day between this 21 days, and see what change you get on 22nd day. That is going to happen. I mean, it is proven that once you follow the act for 21 days, 22nd day is going to be your habit. So you don't have to, if you want to try it out with a simple example, you can just try it out by keeping an alarm. There are a lot of people, those who say ki, when I tell them that you should at least do some yoga or normal exercise or fitness things in the morning, so they tell me ki ma'am utha hi nahi jata hai, but I don't know what happens, I cannot just wake up. So I tell them that, okay, fine, just try to put an alarm for 21 days, a specific time. For example, if it's 6 o'clock in the morning, just keep it for 21 days. 22nd day you will not even need that alarm to wake up. So that is what I'm talking about, that, okay, fine, you have thought that, okay, I want to do something for my better health, and hence I'm going to wake up early in the morning at 6 o'clock. So that's a thought which came into your mind, and you are focusing on that thought. When you focus on that thought, what happens is, once you, with the alarm also, if you are getting up early at 6 o'clock for few days, you will feel happy, oh yes, I can do that. So that's an emotion which is created, and after that what is happening? You are acting. What act you are doing? You are doing some fitness, because you have done that particular process just to get fit. So when you do that act, what happens? That becomes your habit. So all in all, it will become your personality. There are people, those who don't even miss out one single day for going for a walk. Why? Because they have got a thought of fitness, and they have done the whole process of this. The automated process is automatically done into them, and hence they have become a personality who doesn't even skip a single day for a walk. There are lots and lots of people in the world which you will see that they really don't miss out on anything. So what is this? This is converting your thought into your personality. Okay, so please try out certain tricks which I am giving you in between as an example, and you will start believing. Why? Because you are going to follow the steps. You are going to go through this automated process and you are going to change your personality hence. So that is very much important for you to act with this kind of thing. Okay, I have just put a drop of thought into your mind, a seed of thought into your mind. Now if you convert this, if you are going to think about this whole webinar for at least half an hour or 45 minutes that we are tuned together, that thought is going to be in your mind, and that is going to convert into the emotions. And if you are really going to focus on that thought, you are going to start acting on it. And once you will start acting on it, it is going to become your habit. And hence that whole process is going to convert into your own personality. So that's how the thoughts, they develop the personality. Okay. Now the next point is thought affects the body. It is really, really very important. How the thoughts, they affect the body. Okay. So here I would like to say good thinking is a good choice and is going to make you healthy. Right? As I told you, good thinking is what? Focusing on your thought. I would just like to add on over here that do you know that a normal person, it's a research based thing which I'm going to tell you, right? It's like a person in a whole day come across around 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts. It's the National Science Foundation who has done a research in 2005 and has proven that a person or an individual gets around 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts. I specifically said that the person come across. Right? That doesn't mean that you are focusing on all those 60,000 thoughts. From those 60,000 thoughts, there will be certain thoughts which you are going to focus on. Okay, and that particular thought, if you take it, I told you earlier also that it's perceiving, how you perceive those thoughts, right? So if you are going to perceive those thoughts positively, you are going to that is going to be a good choice. And after all, it is going to affect your body and you are going to be healthy. Why? Because you are focusing on your good thoughts. Right? Now, what is negative thinking? Negative thinking is, after all, a negative choice that we all know, and it is going to lead to unhealthy body. About 75 to 98% of the illness are rooted into your thoughts. It's only and only a thought that actually pulls us down or takes or drags us towards the unhealthy life. So to improve your health, you really need to focus on the good thoughts that you have about your own health. That is really, really, really very important. Right? It's the vibration that your cell gets. When you think good about your own health, you can feel the vibration. What vibration you feel? Good vibration. What we call it as positive vibes or vibrations that our cells are feeling. Not only us, our cells in our body are feeling those vibrations, and when they feel those positive vibrations, they are going to act to that. And as I told you in the previous slide also, that the act is going to convert into the habit. Right? So it is very important to feel good about your health, to think good about your health. Why? Because in our environment, or because with our past experiences, we have a lot of thoughts about, or I would say beliefs about the health. Okay, fine, after certain age you get this, after certain age you get this. It's not so. Why it is happening to you is because you're thinking about that, and you I would here want to specify one more thing is that it is not that मैंने सोचा इसलिए हो गया. No, it is because you thought about it, but after you thought about it, you are focusing on that thought, and because you are focusing on that thought, the cells get those vibrations. The body of yours get that vibration of negative thoughts, and hence you get that. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि मैंने सोचा और हो गया. If I feel that okay fine, I am going to buy a Volkswagen or buy an Audi tomorrow, I am not going to get unless I work for that, right? So that's just a thought. If I am going to get that thought into my own self, what will happen? I will start focusing on that thought, and once I focus on that thought, I am going to act on that thought, and hence I am going to get to my destiny. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है when we are on the way. For example, if we are walking on a way or something, if there is a belief in lot of people, there is a belief that काली बिल्ली ने अगर रास्ता काट दिया, that means it is a wrong way, or there's something bad that is going to happen, right? Now what happens over here is, for example, for an instance, if you are going or walking on a path, and you had that thought with a belief or with past experiences, right? So when you are going across, because your mind is thinking कि अरे यार ये काली बिल्ली काटनी नहीं चाहिए यहाँ से रास्ता, so what is happening? You are focusing on that black cat and not somewhere else. There is a lot of good things that are there around in your surrounding. There will be a lot of trees, there will be a lot of vehicles, there are a lot of buildings or a lot of houses, but you are not focusing on that. Where are you focusing? You are focusing on that black cat, and hence शायद वो किसी और को नहीं दिखेगी, बट आपको जरूर दिखेगी, बिकॉज मे बी वो वहां से पास हो रही है, दैट्स जस्ट अ बाय चांस दैट वो वहां से पास हो रही है, बट बिकॉज योर थॉट इज फोकसिंग ऑन दैट, यू आर गोइंग टू थिंक अरे यार इसने रास्ता काट दिया, मतलब आज का दिन गया. एंड देन व्हाट हैपेंस? आपका फोकस है वो काली बिल्ली ने रास्ता काटा है तो आज मेरे साथ कुछ गलत होगा. So for the whole day you are going to focus on something bad that is going to happen. उसके बीच में हजारों अच्छी चीज आपके साथ हो जाएगी, but you are not going to focus on that. Why? Because your thought is कि something bad is going to happen to me. So your focus is only on the bad thing. शायद आप एंटर हुए होंगे आपके जॉब प्लेस पे और आपके बॉस ने आपको ऐसा भी बोला, oh wow, yesterday's task was too good. Okay, fine, you said thank you and you are done with it. That's a good sign, but you are not focusing on that. Throughout the day, there is a lot of appreciation, there are a lot of good things that happen to you, but you are not focusing on that. And by the end of the day, if by chance one of your single tasks is pending, and if your boss calls you over there and says, oh, why damn you did not finish this task, you are going to think, oh, see, because that black cat passed through my way, I got this bang from my boss. But what about those positive things that happened to you? You did not even think for a second about that. So that is what I'm trying to tell, that focusing on your thoughts that are good is very much important. Whatever, there are a lot of negative thoughts also that come across. I'm not saying कि हर एक बार आपको positive thought ही दिखेगा. It is how you perceive those thoughts. You have to take it positively. It is not the world who is going to give you positive thoughts. It is your own self, how you are going to perceive those thoughts. So it is really, really, really very important to take those thoughts positively and converting them into your positive health. So here are some of the examples. There are a lot of emotions that harms your body. Okay, so how different emotions they can affect your different parts of the body is written over here. I would just like to ask you to have a glance. That anger that weakens your liver. Okay, Grief weakens your lungs. Worry weakens your stomach. Have you ever noticed कि आप बहुत जब चिंता में होते हो ना तो आपका स्टमक अपसेट हो जाता है and you always say, oh my god, today my stomach is, upset, really upset. But why? Because you have some worry into your own self. If you try to focus, you will get it correct. The stress, it weakens your heart and brain. That's why we normally tell that, okay, fine, the people, those who are more stressed or more into the stressful environment, they get more of heart attacks. Okay, so, and they have a lot of headaches initially. Why? Because their brain actually is weakened because of the stress that they get. Fear weakens your kidney, right? So if you have at all come across any of the harm with any of your part of the body, please focus on your emotions. This is the proven fact. I'm not just showing you for the sake of showing. It is a proven fact. So please focus on your emotions. If you will start focusing on your emotions, your health is going to be fine. Okay. Thought power changes your destiny. A very important point over here. How to change the destiny with the thought power? It's really very interesting. If you really think about that, okay, with my thoughts I can change my destiny. It's not only the thought I told you earlier also that is going to change your destiny. There are a lot of process which is automated, and hence you reach to your destiny, right? You sow the thought, you reap the action. Once you reap the action, if you sow the action, you reap the habit. And then you reap the character. With those habits, you reap the character, right? And hence that character helps you to reach to the destiny. That's how it actually functions, right? The thought power has got a lot of action behind it. And after those action, after that character, you reach out to the destiny. There are a lot of people who will argue on this point because they believe in karma. I also believe in karma. I am not saying that there is nothing like karma. Of course, there is something called as karma, which normally helps us to reach to the destiny. But after all, this whole process, what I'm talking about, is about karma, because you are going to act that. Your thoughts are going to convert into the action. So if you're going to do good deeds, right, that is going to be your habit. And once it is your habit, that is going to get into the personality, as we discussed earlier, and that personality is going to help you to reach out to the destiny that you want. So that's how the whole thought power functions, right? So here you sow the thought, you reap the action. You sow the action, you reap the habit. You sow the habit, you reap the character. You sow the character, you reap the destiny. So that's how the whole process functions, and you reach out to the destiny that is aimed by your own self. Okay. Thought power creates environment. Okay, it's the thought power that creates environment. It is not every time that the environment creates the thought power. No. Why? I would just like to give you an example over here. There are a lot of people in the world, the renowned people, I would say, those who have been, or they are born into a slums, or they are surrounded by some environment which is not very much fruitful for them. But with their thought power, they have reached to their destination. They have changed the whole environment of their own lives, and they have reached to the particular destination. I would really want to give the best example over here is of Narendra Modi. We all know from what background, with what environment he is raised, right? But still he is there where his destiny was. It is all about your thoughts. Your thoughts can create the environment. What thinking you have is going to be the environment. Why? Because you are going to focus on those thoughts. You are going to act on those thoughts. And after all, it is going to build the environment. So it is not always that the environment creates the thoughts. We normally say, na, because he is from that background, he is like this, right? It is not always like that. The thought has got that power that it can really change the environment that the person belongs to. So it is very important that you focus on the thoughts rather than the environment. There are, I just gave one example of Narendra Modi. There are a lot of people, renowned people, those who really did not have that background, but still with their own thought process, with their own firmness about their reaching out to their destiny, and their act of doing that. Because they had that thought, they did the act, right? And with that act, or I would say it converted into their habit of reaching or acting for reaching out to their destination, and hence they are at the destiny, right? So the thought power really creates the environment. So focus on the thought power rather than the environment, right? There are a lot of people, those who normally say ki, "Arey, mera background hi aisa hai na, so I am not going to reach out there." It is not that. If you are going to think that way, it is going to happen that only that is going to happen. But if you think no, that the environment is not something which is going to stop me, and hence you are going to act towards reaching out to the destiny, and that's where the whole process starts, and you will reach to the destiny. So the environment is something which is going to help you out, but it is not something that is going to create your thoughts. Okay, now the development of the thought power. Okay, this is very important. It is actually a very wide topic. I'm just giving you the gist of this. But the development of the thought power is something which is from a lot of areas, right? How the development of the thought comes. So over here, it is acquisition of thought power by moral purity. A person has got the moral purity, and hence he acquisits the thoughts. And that's how actually the moral purity of the person which takes those thoughts into the positive world. जैसे मैंने आपको पहले भी बोला कि it is not that the thoughts are positive or not negative. It is your own self, how you take those thoughts. So taking those thoughts towards the positive way is where the moral purity comes of the individual. Okay, there are individual differences and lot of things that definitely affects the individual, but the moral purity is something which helps the person to acquisite the thoughts. Okay, like for example, if I say the person who speaks truth every time, okay, that's a moral purity of that person, and that person will always have powerful thoughts, right? So those powerful thoughts are what? They are the acquisition of the moral purity of that individual. Okay, there are morals in all individual, as we all know, right? And that helps the thought to become positive, and that's the inner strength of that person, that he will always have good thoughts. Okay, the next is the thought power by concentration. As I told you that the thoughts are thoughts after all. When you start focusing, concentrating on that particular thought, that is going to be the seed of yours, which you are going to sow. And once you sow that, it is going to reap up. Right? So what it is like concentrating on the thought, जैसे मैंने आपको बोला कि there are around 20,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day that you come across. But from those 60,000, you are going to focus on say 10, maximum 15 per day. When you are going to concentrate, I'm talking about the specific thoughts which you are going to concentrate. And then what happens to that? those concentrated thoughts where you have actually focused on, you are going to start thinking about that. And when you start thinking about those thoughts, there are some act that you are going to follow for those thoughts, right? And again that automated process starts happening. So the thought power by concentration is also something which develops the thoughts. There are n number of thoughts that come across, but you are going to concentrate on certain thoughts. So that's how the power of thought comes over here. That's where you develop the thought, right? Thoughts come and go. It is not so that you are focusing on all the thoughts. Okay, the thought which you are going to focus, that is the development of the thought. उससे पहले वो thought है ही नहीं actually. It just comes across. But if you don't focus on it, if you don't concentrate on those thoughts, then they are not going to develop. And unless you don't develop those thoughts, you are not going to focus on that again, nor you are going to act on that. And hence those thoughts are not going to, I would say, the thing that you are thinking about is not going to happen to you. Why? Because you are not concentrating on that. Right? How people become billionaire and millionaires? Because they have that thought into them on their own self. They concentrate on that, and that's how they start functioning on those thoughts. That is acting. Only the thought is not something which is going to help you to reach the destination. नहीं तो मैं तो बैठे बैठे सिर्फ सोचती ही रहूंगी. I will only sit and think positive, positive, positive. That is not going to work out. I have to act on those thoughts. And when I will act, when I will concentrate on those thoughts. When I will concentrate on those thoughts, what will happen is I will start functioning on those thoughts. And once I will start functioning on those thoughts, I am going to get the result. It's very simple philosophy, right? The next point is the thought power by organized thinking. As I told you that once you concentrate on that particular thought, you are going to organize everything. Once you organize those things, it is going to develop. So hence the power of that thought which just clicked you is going to develop. So after concentrating, you are going to organize those thoughts. You are going to work on that thought. Okay, fine, I have got this thought, but how do I get along? What process should I follow? And once you follow the process, the destiny is going to be there. Right? So focusing after focusing, if you are concentrating deeply into that particular thought, and organizing. Once you organize everything, for example, if you have a thought that by 2021 I should own a house, what is going to happen? You are going to focus on that particular thought. You are going to organize your whole process. Okay, fine, for a house, what do I need? I need all these things. If I need all these things, what do I have to do more? You are going to act on it. Once you act on it, the destiny is always yours. Right? So it is not only the thought that is going to help you reach the destiny. It is the whole process that is going to help you reach the destiny. Right? Then the thought power by willpower. Okay, there are a lot of people who work on willpower. Okay, if I would just tell you, there is a statement that I can do everything. Okay, that's the thought by will. Okay, if I say ki I will do it, so I will do it maybe some other time, but I can do it, I am doing it. That's the process that you have to follow. Okay, now thought power by willpower. If you have a willpower to reach to that particular thought or to do the whole process, and reach out to the destiny of that particular thought, then you are going to win. So it's only the willpower that is going to help you out to function the whole process. You should have that willpower. Okay, that is something which is actually going to help you reach out your goal. You have a goal now because the thought has come to you. It's the seed is being sown. Now what? You are going to act on it, right? So you have a goal and now you are going to follow the steps to reach out to that goal. That's the act that you are going to do. And hence, with the willpower, if you follow all the steps, that's the destiny. So the development of a thought is again the willpower that is going to help you out to develop the thought. Okay, there are people those who will always think, no, ये तो मेरे से होगा ही नहीं. So that's not going to happen because you are thinking that कि ये मेरे से होगा ही नहीं. If you focus that no, I can do it, there is a thought कि no, I can do it. So even if you do not have certain strength to do that act, you are going to imbibe those strength to reach out. Why? Because that thought is there. Okay, no, I can do it. You are going to function on that. For example, if I just give you one example over here, there is a person who has got a stage fear, right? He is very much, I would say, not below the willpower, but he is always thinking, oh, I cannot do it. Holding a mic and speaking in such huge crowd is not my cup of tea, right? But if the thought comes and if he grasps that thought, right? If he takes that thought and concentrate on that thought and say, no, I can do it. There is nothing in the world that is going to stop him to hold the mic and speak in front of thousands of people. Why? Because he has got that willpower. And he is going to work on that. What he is going to work is the whole process. He is going to practice. He is going to take some chances. Maybe in small groups, maybe in large group, maybe in the known group, and then moving to the unknown group. So the whole process is going to happen. Why? Because he has thought that, no, I can do it, and I will do it. So that particular willpower is going to help that person to develop that thought and then function on it, or doing act on it. And hence is going to reach out to his destiny. Right? The thought power by meditation. Again, a very important topic. Meditation is something which actually helps you to know your own self. Okay, it gives you time for your own self. When you meditate, there are a lot of people, those who are meditating. Many of you also must be meditating, right? So over here, I will want to tell you that what it is doing. Meditation is actually giving you time for your own self. And when you get time for your own self, the whole thought process happens. Okay, and with meditation, you are actually focusing, starting from your breathing. Your whole focus is your breath that is going inside, that is inhaling and exhaling. So you are focusing on that. You are focusing on your thoughts. That was one of the point over here, that you need to concentrate on your thoughts. So meditation gives you a chance to focus on your thought. And once you focus on your thought, you are going to really function on that. And once you function, there's nothing that can stop you. Because everything, every destiny, if you have the destiny or if you have a goal, I would say, there are a lot of things that are going to help you out to reach the goal. You will try ample things. Some will help, some may not help. Some act may go smooth, some act may not go smooth. But because you have a thought, you are going to work on it. So meditation helps you to concentrate on your own self along with your thoughts. And once you concentrate on your thought, you're going to focus on that. I know concentration and focusing. Concentrated, once you concentrated on that particular thought, from all the thoughts that you have, you are going to work on that particular thought. You are going to look for options. How can I reach out to my goal now? And then you are going to act on it. Once you act on it, as I told you, the whole automated process is going to follow on its own. And that's how you're going to get your goal. It is really very simple to reach your goal. Right? So thought power is a very big power that each and every individual, I would say, each and every individual on the earth owes it. It's only that you need to focus on that thought. And focusing on that is not only thinking. Mark my words, I'm not saying that only thinking is going to help you reach your destiny. No, it is the whole process. It is automated. So once you concentrate on your thoughts, it is going to happen turn by turn. But it is not only that by thinking you are going to reach. ऐसा होता तो सारे दुनिया में सिर्फ बैठ के सोचते ही रहते. Okay, fine, I am going to be a millionaire, I am going to owe this particular huge house or maybe what not. But only thinking is not going to help you out. But concentrating on that thought and working on it, working is as I told you, it's a process. It is going to happen once you concentrate on the thought. Okay, and once you concentrate on thought, it is like, I would say, a simple dialogue that in movies normally, I don't remember the name of the movie, but yes, of course, कि अगर आप किसी चीज को ठान के बैठते हो तो everything is going to help you out. The environment is going to help you out. पूरी कायनात आपको उसको मिलाने के पीछे लगती है. So that is what actually happens. Once you decide on that particular thought, everything is going to work out. Why? Because you are focusing on it. You are working on it. So that's what the thought power is all about. Now here is a scientific perspective.
So Dipankar sir is asking, human mind is wired for missing call syndrome. Tile syndrome. How do we overcome naturally?
Yeah, it's just a process that we need to follow, sir. When you focus on the process, right? Human mind is something which actually helps you out to reach out to the goals by the process. So you need to focus on those thoughts. The thoughts is the basic idea that comes to you, right? And if you focus on that, it definitely your mind wavers in between. I know that. But if you concentrate on that particular thought and say, no, I don't want to go, or I don't want to cut down over here, and I want to focus on that particular thought, it will help you out to reach out to that goal, or maybe go back to that goal. So you need to stop and you need to guide your brain. You need to guide your mind. Once you guide your mind, it is going to work that way. Yeah. Any other questions?
So, yeah, ma'am. So, sir, Dipankar sir is also asking, please explain why negative or skeptical thought strike first rather than the positive.
Yeah, that's because you in the world normally we see that 85% of the thought that comes to you are negative. Why? Because you are focusing more on that. If you start focusing on the positive ones, your concentrate will get, you will get diverted to that positive thoughts. But because our mind is in such a way that we normally focus on something wrong that is going to happen, so we try to get diverted towards the negative ones. If you concentrate on your thought and tell your own self, no, there is something positive also which is happening. So if you divert your mind, that's basically your subconscious mind, where you actually need to trigger it and tell that no, I don't have to go this way, I have to go this way. So when you are going to go the other way round, what is going to happen? You're going to concentrate on the positive ones, right? It's really very weird, but it is the fact, right? For example, like normally what we do in the counseling sessions and all, we tell the clients that you need to close your eyes and imagine that there are two paths in front of you. One is negative and one is positive. How it is negative and positive? How are you going to think that it is negative or positive? It is by the good that is going to happen to you with those thoughts. There are two thoughts, for example, in an instance, and you are going to think that, okay, fine, if I go this way, what good is going to happen to me? Okay, fine, nothing is going to happen to me. If I go this way, I am going to get this benefits. Now, your mind is what? It is going to walk only the way where you are going to see something positive, because it is tuned that way. हम बोलते हैं ना कि जिसमें हमको अच्छा कुछ दिखेगा उसी तरफ हम जाएंगे. So you have to close your eyes and look for both the path. Once you look for both the path and think that what good is going to happen to you. Why? Because again you are focusing on good, and something where you focus on good is going to drag you towards that thought. Yeah, okay. Anybody else? Okay, let me just, even if you are positive and have positive thoughts, some people, yes, that's a very important point Mr. Parag is saying over here, that even if you are positive and have positive thoughts, from some people you get the negative vibrations and you are not comfortable with that person. How to handle that? That's a very important question, sir. It's like you have to focus on the positive thing that people are talking about. There are people, those who will drag you towards negative thoughts. अरे नहीं तू ऐसा बोलता है, but ऐसा होता ही नहीं. No, it's not. So you have to see, we are not here to change people's perspective, right? We can help them out, we can guide them, but we cannot change their personality, right? Because we are in the process of changing. We want our own self to be positive. We want our own thoughts we want to focus on our own thoughts, right? So we have to ignore. Ignore is only one way where we can actually come out of the people, those who have the negative beliefs, right? The beliefs is something which is very difficult to change in people, right? Some people are there in the world around you, those who will really be behind you to think negative, but you are there to focus on the positive aspect. So as I told earlier also, that you have to guide your mind, that you are not here to look for the negatives. Once you guide it, your mind is going to get diverted towards the positive thoughts. Okay, fine, that person is there, you need to ignore, that's it. You cannot help that person out, nor you can help yourself out by walking or not talking to that person. That's not going to happen. That's a social life that we need to follow. So you are going to follow that social life, but you have to cut it short to your own way, that okay, fine, that's that particular person's intentions or that particular person's perspective. My perspective is different, so I am like this. That's it. Thought is consciousness. Yes, thought is consciousness also, and it is unconscious also. There are, as I told you, that 60,000 thoughts that come across is not always in the conscious mind. That's what I told you, that when it comes to you, when you concentrate on that thought, it comes to your conscious mind. Till then, they are there in your subconscious mind. It is not only consciousness, it is both subconscious and conscious together. Now, if you want to focus on that thought, then you need to drag that thought from unconscious mind to conscious mind. And once you drag that thought to conscious mind, then the whole process of automation starts. Till that it doesn't start because it is there in your subconscious mind. So again and again, it will hit you up because it is there in your subconscious mind, right? So it is going to hit you up. If you feel that that's a right thought and if you drag it to your conscious mind, then it is going to function. Till then, if it is in subconscious mind, it is not going to function. It is same as some people decide. It is same as some people decide to go to temple on particular chosen day in a week is the way to follow positive thought, action, and habit. Yeah, it can be any of a process that you want to follow. It can be simple as I gave you the example of fitness. It can be simple as fitness. It can be visiting the temple or anything, any oath that you take. That can be followed by this. Yes, Pooja ma'am.
So I have already added the video. So shall we play the video?
Yeah.
For years, scientists believed that the brain was static, unchanging, and locked, but our understanding has changed drastically to the point where we now see the brain as plastic and constantly changing. But what if I told you that simply thinking could affect not only the way your brain works, but its physical shape and structure as well? It turns out this is exactly what happens. From a neuroscientific standpoint, imagining an action locked, but our understanding has changed drastically to the point where we now see the brain as plastic and constantly changing. But what if I told you that simply thinking could affect not only the way your brain works, but its physical shape and structure as well? It turns out this is exactly what happens. From a neuroscientific standpoint, imagining an action and doing it require the same motor and sensory programs in the brain. For example, if you were to close your eyes and imagine the letter B, the primary visual cortex lights up in the same way it does when you look at the letter on the screen. Take a moment and imagine yourself writing out your signature with your dominant hand. Chances are, the amount of time it takes you to simply imagine doing it is similar to how long it actually takes to write it out. Try doing the same thing with your non-dominant hand and it actually takes you longer to write and imagine. How is this relevant? Well, because imagination and action are actually integrated and engage the same neural pathways, practicing one actually influences the other. One fascinating study took two groups and had them practice piano for 2 hours a day, except one group was only allowed to use mental practice. They couldn't touch the piano, but would sit in front of it and imagine practicing. The surprising result? The exact same physical changes took place in the motor cortex of both groups. And after 3 days, their accuracy in playing was the exact same. Beyond 5 days, the physical practice group did begin to excel faster, but the imagination group, when given the chance to practice physically, was able to catch up to their skill level quickly. Perhaps more incredible is an experiment which used imagination in an effort to strengthen muscles. Both groups did the same figure muscle exercises for 4 weeks, though one group simply did it mentally. Those who actually did the physical exercise increased their strength by 30%, while those who imagined doing it increased their muscle strength by 22%. This is because the neurons responsible for the movement instruction were still being used and strengthened, resulting in increased strength when the muscles actually contracted. So, while your thoughts don't have some mystical or magical power, mental practice is an effective way to prepare for a physical skill. Each thought actually changes the structure and function of your brain by affecting the neurons at the microscopic level. Though, as much as we wish you could sit there and become the next Mozart, it won't happen without a lot of hard physical work. But a little imagination never hurts. This episode of ASAP Science is supported by Audible.com, the leading...
So, it is all about not only dreaming, it's imagining and practicing, right? So here this video actually was a scientific support that I wanted to add on to the thought power, where we actually say that the only by thinking is not going to happen, you need to function on it. So that's how the thought power you can unleash and reach out to your destination. Yeah, thank you so much to each one of you. Thank you, Preeti ma'am.
So thank you everyone for joining us today for this webinar.